Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to Near Disney, where we local real estate experts and Disney World enjoyers congregate once a week to just kind of go over what's happening in the market, what's happening in the news, keeping you up to date on all things happening within a 25-mile radius of Cinderella's castle. All right, what's popping besides these fireworks?
Yeah.
If if you guys are just into the stream, please feel free to let us know where you're watching from. Say hi if you have any questions about anything we're talking about, or just anything vaguely related to what we cover here. Feel free to jump in. This is supposed to be an engaging viewer engagement show as well, so you're never interrupted, even if we're in the thick of bringing you the news. So I'll just start by introducing ourselves. I'm Elijah Lewis with Florida in Motion Realty, and all of our phone numbers are scrolling across the bottom of the screen there if you want to be able to know how to reach us best. But I'll just throw it over to the little Brady Bunch square next to me.
Hey everyone, I'm Virginia Carlson, also with Florida in Motion Realty, and we are excited to talk about some really cool things in the market today. Glad you're with us.
And then down below,
Down below.
And I am Sue Copia, also with Florida in Motion Realty. Thanks everyone for joining us tonight, and we hope that we provide you some really great information that you can space bank and use when it works for you good. So thanks for joining us.
awesome. We missed you the last couple weeks, Sue, so glad to have you on today.
Thank you. Well,
So
I
we're gonna
am
get-
coming live from the state of Washington.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Right.
See, we're coast to coast here at Near Disney.
Yeah.
We deal with people who come from all over the country, and even some
That's right.
international people want to work with us. So hello
That's
to
right.
all of our lovely viewers. So I'm going to throw it over to before we're going to have some great real estate topics, and we're also going to talk about just some local things happening. So some people ask, because some years it's on, some years it's off, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. So Celebration Florida, the town built by Disney that has that wonderful downtown area and those beautiful shops and restaurants and dollhousey homes that we all love. They're doing 4th of July this year. Celebration Star Spangled Spectacular. And that's, of course, July 4th, 610 Sycamore Street. You just go into the downtown area, and they've got some lovely sponsors and some live entertainment. They're going to have a DJ at 5 p.m. that goes to 6:30. They're going to have a group audio exchange 6:30 to 9:15 p.m. for like some of that awesome live music. Lots of fun cover songs, lots of stuff to get everyone excited and pumped. There's usually food everywhere in like tents and stuff if you don't want to just go into the restaurants. And then, of course, the fireworks themselves will start at 9:20. They have like a beautiful lake pond area where people just kind of sit and lay out a picnic blanket or what have you, and you can just watch an awesome fireworks show that goes on. And then it sounds like the band Audio Exchange is going to just send everybody off with some rockin' outro to this event. So basically, it's all over 10 p.m., 5 to 10 p.m., 4th of July, if you want to do something in Celebration, Florida, the town built by Disney. It's usually a pretty good show.
Yeah, the fireworks are pretty great. We've been the past 3 years since they brought them back after COVID, and the display is spectacular. It really is worth seeing if you're in the area. I would definitely recommend.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I just want to remind everyone that that's on this year.
Yes, it is on this year.
It is on. Looks like Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
So we're going to throw this over to the housing market real quick. And we've got some Florida housing market predictions for this year.
Yeah, I found this article by Dave Ramsey. A lot of people are familiar with Dave Ramsey. They've taken some of the different courses he has on finances and, getting your finances under control, being able to live off a cash budget, paying your credit cards off, all that kind of stuff, and setting, basically all that there's out there to set yourself up, to have a really great future and, even possibly your kids' future. So, even though the housing prices across the board in Florida decreased a little bit in 2024, not a lot, but some, the 2025 outlook is actually looking quite a bit better. So last year, the typical housing price was the median house rate price in the area was 410,000, almost 500 or 411,000. And this year they're looking at it being somewhere in the low 420s. So, that's a pretty significant bump considering, especially if last year it decreased. So inventory is going to continue to increase in the Central Florida area. Again, a lot of that is people moving into the new area and the demand for new housing, and not just single family homes, but condos as well, townhomes. There's a lot of that going on here, and again, all of that information. Any questions you have, just reach out to one of us. Let's see, there was and the other option, the other part of that whole equation of trying to buy a house is we're looking at the interest rates to at least remain steady. I still believe they're going to come down a little bit more by the end of the year, but at least it's not looking like they're going up. And so there's a lot of information on Dave Ramsey's website on buying a house and preparing yourself, getting yourself ready. I know that our team, I know Virginia especially, has brought quite a few articles on, how to save for a down payment, options for you that are out there for your down payment. And so again, there's a lot available for people who are really serious about wanting to buy a house. Now, if you want to sell a house in Florida, with the housing prices going up, there you go. It's a good time to consider that if that's something that you've been thinking about. Test the market. We will always show you how to test the market. And you have nothing to lose. It doesn't cost you anything. And again, we would love to work with you and not just build a client realtor relationship, but build really good, strong foundational friendships with you. So, yeah, let us know. Sure. Text us, call us.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Sue. Appreciate that little market update. Yeah, RamseySolutions.com gives some great updates. We know he's big into real estate himself, as well as giving financial advice and telling people to cut up their credit cards and all that stuff. So yeah, he's been a great radio show and website to give people some guidance with that financial aspect. But speaking of the seller side, you found a cool article, Virginia, about maybe just kind of maximizing your home's price, especially when we're getting into this higher inventory environment where maybe like there's some pressure to lower prices to stay competitive. What's like some angles that people have to maybe just kind of maintain their ground with keeping the value?
Yeah, definitely. We always like to talk about how to boost the appeal of your home if you're thinking of selling. And so let's talk about something that you can do with kind of like a minimal effort. It really doesn't take that much, which is the paint colors inside of your home. And like most design trends, they tend to change. And so right now we're seeing that the value boosting colors of 2025 are dark shades of green, blue, and gray. So a study conducted by Zillow found that recent prospective home buyers prefer muted green kitchens over all other colors. So the trend of the all white kitchen is definitely on the decline. They found that buyers would offer over $1,500 more for homes with these new color schemes inside the kitchen. And then the bedrooms, navy blues are really popular right now. And they see that olive green and navy blue are contemporary colors. And I think that's why people are liking them, because they affect how the buyers view the entire home. So when you walk in and you see these cool new contemporary colors, it kind of sets the tone for how you view the entire house. These are nature-inspired colors, which evoke feelings of serenity and tranquility, which everybody wants in their house. And charcoal gray is a cool color for living rooms. And Alternatively, if a home has kind of the wrong color scheme, like a bright daisy yellow or red, fire hydrant reds in the kitchens and bedrooms, that's a turnoff nowadays to prospective buyers. They want those, like I said, those kind of contemporary nature inspired colors that seem to be definitely better, because paint color is really like an aesthetic that you feel when you walk into the home. And we would definitely be happy to talk to you about all of the cool paint colors that are out right now that are helping to sell properties. And so buyers are offering nearly, just to put it in perspective, buyers are offering upwards of $4,000 less for these off-putting paint colors. So it definitely would be a good investment to kind of investigate what are the best color schemes and make that just have a real impact when people walk into the house. Really does make a difference.
I will say that with some of those colors, like buyers will just kind of see it as a non-starter. They'll walk in and say, oh, well, obviously this has to be changed if it's all like a red wall, especially if you don't have it staged anymore. Like you don't have those cool dark wood furniture pieces that were accentuating it, and those like black wood tables and those other things that all kind of tied it together. When it's just like, this is the floor and this is the red walls, there it can just be very jarring. You would kind of even maybe just like either you might take longer to sell and then people just come to you expecting or trying to negotiate a credit, or you just get ahead of it right when we're coming into like prepping it for a listing. Say, hey, look, we have companies like JR with Painting My Life Way and some other contractors we know who can advise on that. We also have interior decorator contacts. You say, I don't know, just what's going to help us sell, or what's the trendy, I didn't know about charcoal gray or olive green. We know people who do know about that stuff, and they're delightful folks. We're happy to hook you up with. And paint makes a big difference. It sets the mood.
It really does. And it's amazing how different a home can look with a fresh coat of paint and in certain rooms and just make it pop. So it's definitely worth investigating.
I have a young woman client. I have a young woman who's buying her first home, and literally every color that you just mentioned is the paint chips that she's been showing me and where they're going to go. And
those are really
I'm sitting here listening to that, and I was like, wow, she seems to be right on the money, apparently.
I mean, when you look at all the architectural magazines and everything, that's the dark colors in the kitchen are so on trend right now. Really popular.
I think Gen Z and millennials like color, and they're finally getting to that age where they can buy homes. Some of them.
And like wallpaper is coming back. I mean, it's different than it was a few years ago, where everything was kind of all one note, kind of like a white or a light gray or something like that. It's switched to something more bold nowadays.
There's an expression that said familiarity breeds contempt, and that can happen with trends, because like you just see everything's the same for long enough, and it's inevitable that everything that was popular, even if it seems so perennial and so like it's white, it's gray, how could you not? It's still just the sheer volume of seeing it all the time, and everything will just compel the market to eventually do something else. Like I was just showing a home today where they did all the cabinetry hardware with gold, and they were commenting like, oh yes, they're keeping up with the trends with gold here. And
gold is very trendy right now.
So it's just, because you're so used to silver for so long.
Sure.
But that is what's trendy now.
Yes.
So I will throw that over to this article I found. It is the summertime. We've been dealing with bringing some buyers into places, and they often look to us as the realtors of like, okay, we got to get this place inspected. I'm not from around here, or I'm from out of state, or it's just been so long since I've worked with a property. Who can you recommend? We always try to give people multiple options with an inspector, just to kind of browse the prices, browse the reviews, get to maybe call them themselves. Sometimes it's also helpful, if you want multiple opinions, ask around, see if that community has like a local Facebook page for residents or something. Just ask who's good, who do people like, And this particular article was about important items to consider, the three of the most important. Like, what are you looking for on an inspection report? Sometimes if you're going for an older house, you'll get a long report with a lot of bullet points, and maybe just the amount of stuff there can be like, like overwhelming. But, places that aren't new construction, they're going to have things that come up. I've even had sellers that have like a point of pride. Like they tried to fix everything they could find and clean it and prepare it. This woman had a goal that I want there to be nothing on my inspection report. I was like, that's the seller from heaven. And lo and behold, there were still like two little things that were found. But so there's always going to be something. But really what you're looking for, before to get too scared of just seeing things, bullet points, is the structure, looking for structural issues. What is that? It's just like, if like the home is, like the worst possible examples, like on a sinkhole, or if the foundation is showing some cracks, or if there's like something going on with the ceilings that looks like it's, caving or something like that, they're always going to test the water damage to see if it's, like leaks or new or old. Sometimes you just can't eyeball it. Those stains in the ceilings will always be something of concern, but just always, like I said, safety has to do with electrical wiring, plumbing, HVAC, windows being broken. Always get the story on that stuff. And sometimes like an AC leaked, if it got replaced, and that's just that's dry, it's old, maybe just all it'll take is some paint, or all it'll take is a little drywall, but it's not like an active problem with like the roof. That's good. And of course, deferred maintenance. We saw a lot more deferred maintenance in the market, like during COVID. Like those times, it was just like people would just buy a house that needed a lot of work just to get it. But now in the current, people are starting to negotiate again. They're starting to ask for seller concessions, credits, things to be done on the inspection report, even if they initially submitted an as-is contract. We, of course, as your realtors, we go to bat for you. We try to make the best case we can. It's like, I know we came in as is. We got this inspection period. Let's do what we can to save the deal. So, just because it's all about not just the cost of the home, it's going to be what you're going to be putting into it after to make it move-in ready and make it up to your standards. So yeah, with the inspection report, some people, they come to us and say, oh, do I really need one? It looked good when I was in there. We always recommend that you do get it inspected. Especially, this is the summertime. This is when the heat and the humidity is at its most fierce. We want to make sure that those heating differentials in the AC are tested, and that's all the stuff that they're like special technology can tell. Because the last thing we want is like a AC unit breaking on you just as soon as you move in.
Right.
No, that would be bad.
All right. So with that, I want to bring up this other article that's Disney related. We're getting into the Disney article portion of the show. We know that some Disney cast members watch us, so we always try to throw you guys a cool article. So what's going on with 626 Day?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to pretend that I knew what this was, but I, am reading about what's happening at Disney, researching what's going on to tell you guys. I found that Disney Springs is celebrating 626 Day, and it's not too late to go today. So you could still head over to Disney Springs and do it today and tomorrow. So what is 626? Obviously, it's June 26th, but it is also all things Lilo and Stitch, with the release of the new Lilo and Stitch movie that just came out last month. Because Stitch was, he was Experiment 626, Experiment, yeah. So what you can do is you can go to Disney Springs and you can go to the stalls that are near the Orange Garage, and you get kind of like a scavenger hunt list, and you go around Disney Springs and you find all the different things on the list. And then when you are finished, you go to the Havaianas store, which is right next to the Boathouse restaurant, and you will get a limited edition Lilo and Stitch commemorative trinket of some sort. They don't really say what it is, so that's because it's a surprise at the end. But just something fun to do, take you out to Disney Springs, get you walking around and seeing all the different sites, and going on a fun little scavenger hunt to boot. So, I mean, it's a win-win
That's
for
cute.
everyone. Yeah. So something fun to do.
Very
That's
cute.
cool. So they
Yeah.
just hand you that, and you don't have to like download anything on your phone or anything.
No, they said like you take a picture of the list of things, and then you kind of just like, do
Do
the
it
scavenger
yourself.
hunt and do it yourself, and it's self-guided. So you can take as little or as much time to do so, and just kind of walk around, see all the different sites at Disney Springs. And I mean, there's so many Lilo and Stitch fans out there, and we'd love to see in the comments if you've seen the new movie and if you liked it as much as the original cartoon. I know I took my daughter to see it a few weeks ago, and we liked it. I thought it was cute. It's much like the original, just with people. So it's fun.
Real people.
Real people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, I want to say thank you, Kim, for saying greatest realtors in all the land. That's
thank
very
you.
kind of you. Thank you so much for the shout out. We appreciate that. Can keep bringing the good content here as the dream team. I had no idea about how big Stitch was.
I know.
I suddenly started to read, like go into like more people's houses, like for showings and stuff. And I saw that like how big of a hit was Stitches with women of all ages. And that, yeah, he is all over decorations and plushies and pictures. We were working with some clients this week, and they were Disney adults, and they just had Stitch all over the house. It was definitely the favorite movie of theirs. And I gotta say, that's just so fun to see a revitalization. That came out in like 2002 or something. Like when I was a kid, I was like 10, and so like that is fun to it's like a nostalgia blast just hitting me right when I'm like 30 now. So that's.
I mean, Lilo and Stitch definitely have a real following, and like you said, especially Stitch, people go crazy for this little character, maybe because he's like the lovable, misunderstood. Everyone can relate, I guess.
Everyone in school was trying to do the voices.
The voices.
Yeah, sure.
It's too fun.
Yeah, I took one of my granddaughters to the mall here a couple of days ago, and they were everywhere. Almost every trinket store, or like Claire's or stuffed animal, or there were kiosks in the middle of the hall of the aisles, where you walk through. Yeah, it was. So it's all across the country. It's not just right at Disney World.
No, and also Tropical Smoothie, that chain that you can get smoothies and food.
Yeah.
And they have a limited time Lilo and Stitch smoothie, and it's blue.
That's awesome.
What the flavors are, but yeah, they're
626 day.
626 day.
May the 4th be with you.
Exactly. It's another example of one of these like number
Mario Day. Like they do 3/10. That's March 10th. Mario.
Nice.
But speaking of that, like I said, last week I shared pictures of my visit to Epic Universe. They did a whole new like extra park onto Universal Studios. So there had been historically for years Islands of Adventure and Universal. There's now Epic, and it kind of seems like Disney's feeling the pressure to expand themselves. We've heard all about the stuff they're doing to like add to Magic Kingdom and stuff with like villains attractions and changing rides up in like Hollywood Studios with Aerosmith going to the Muppets. But now, as I'm pulling up this article here, it says that Disney World has been granted permission to develop a 5th theme park. Wow. So this isn't just expanding Magic Kingdom or changing the themes of rides in Hollywood Studios or something. This is that they've now gotten the licensing and the permits to do an entirely 5th park. There's Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, that took me so long to not say MGM anymore, and and Animal Kingdom, and now who knows what this is going to be, but it's just I know like right? where could they take it? But basically this is apparently going to be a long-term project that that's going to be just kind of built out for years, and it's going to be coupled with like like hotel stuff and all kinds of like resort stuff that's adjacent to it, maybe even some more golf. So we'll definitely keep you posted if we hear any more about Disney itself being expanded. And
Cool.
in addition to Lilo and Stitch, thanks for sharing your fun time that you had with the family. You went to the movies as well this week, Sue. You saw the latest Pixar.
Yes, we went with, I think, almost all of the grandkids and great grandkids yesterday. And I have not been to an animated movie. I probably shouldn't announce this on our show, but I haven't been to an animated movie in the theater in a really long time. And I
Mhm.
was so pleasantly surprised with Elio. It was a very cute story. It was very heartfelt. It was funny. The characters were adorable. And it was, I won't give, really much of any of it away, but it was a little boy who felt like he didn't belong anywhere, that nobody wanted him. He couldn't make any friends. And he was super overwhelmingly engrossed in aliens, and
Mm.
aliens, come get me, come take me away, come, come get me, rescue me from this. And then the story takes off kind of from there. And and I couldn't, things would happen and I would be like, oh, I didn't see that coming.
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't see that coming.
Oh,
So
that's
it was
good.
very unpredictable. It was very cute. Our 4.5-month-old great granddaughter sat with her 3D glasses on and watched the entire movie, not a peep. And so, all ages, yeah, all ages. I absolutely just had a great time.
Oh,
So
that's great.
I
Oh,
highly recommend it.
That's a
yeah,
nice endorsement, Sue. I like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
appreciate you. See, we walk the walk. We don't just talk the talk when it comes to Disney, right? We're
Hmm.
in it, and
Yeah.
that's glad. That's glad. That's what they do these productions for, to create those family experiences and
Hmm.
create those family bonding opportunities
Mhm.
and memories. So I'm glad that Disney delivered that for you. Now
Yeah.
I just need to get to the theater next and see something fun.
Yeah, you
So
got to do the double feature. Do Lilo and Stitch and then Elio, or the other way around.
exactly. That's right. I know. It's just I'm the only one who doesn't have any dang kids, right?
Well, my grandkids are on the West Coast, so I don't get that much of an opportunity to do that, so which made it
Yeah.
even that much more special. So,
Well,
but
good.
Disney
That's
is
good
all
timing.
about, like you said, creating family moments, and that's what Walt had in mind from the very beginning. So,
All right. Well,
yeah.
if you're in the chat or the comments section, just let us know. Is it Elio? Is it Lilo and Stitch? What do you want to see in a fifth Disney theme park? What are
Yeah.
the
Ooh.
possibilities for that? And yeah, just let us know anything else that you'd want to have us cover. We try to cover everything about Disney experiences, everything about the real estate market, and even just everything about like the helping you have a home buying or selling or renovating experience. We've got, once you start working with us and you come into our circle for your home search, your home sell, we've got a whole Rolodex of contacts we're happy to just share with you. And with that, I think we'll just, hey, you can look forward to us. We're going to be streaming. The show happens on Friday at 1:30 as well.
Yep.
And of course, you please hit the like button and subscribe. It helps
Right.
us on our path to 10,000 subscribers. And I know that we've got some podcast listeners, so I just want to give everyone in the Dream Team, especially if you couldn't catch the person you want to talk to scrolling on the bottom of the screen, we'll just maybe shout out your phone number real quick.
Hmm.
I'm Elijah Lewis of Florida and Motion Realty. Call me the Prince of Real Estate here, of course, on Near Disney. 407-922-0587.
And I am Virginia Carlson, also known as Cinderella here on the Dream Team. For Florida Motion Realty, my phone number is 407-487-9960.
And I am Sue Copia, also known as Aurora, who is Sleeping Beauty. And my number is area code 407-334-7770.
Awesome. And
Very
with
nice.
that, I'm going to throw it over to Kim Hawk, the fairy godmother of real estate, to sign us off. Take care, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Make sure that you subscribe and like so that we can continue to give you up-to-date information on all things that are going around the 25-mile radius of Cinderella's castle, because this is truly a magical place to live.